Exxaro is next. Remember, this is a South African-based company which came out of the Anglo stable, but it's really a coal producer with extensive operations, both supplying steam coal to Eskom as well as to the Eskom, or rather export market via Richards Bay. But in addition to that, because of the Anglo link, they are the 20% or thereabout holder in the Sishen Iron Ore mine, which in turn the rest of belongs to Kumba. That's complicated, but remember what you're dealing with here is an operational company that's mostly about coal and some other stuff, and then it's got this cash flow and the good times from its investment in an iron ore mine. Market capitalization 25.4 billion rand, price to earnings ratio 15.57, dividend yield of 2.1%. So the history of this company is interesting, and for a while it made a bomb of money from that iron ore interest. Now that's not been as profitable, but it's sort of still
they're
sizable.
kind of struggling a little bit. I think this is ironically one of the only companies out of all the ones we're looking at today that has continuously growing earnings, or has grown earnings over the last 2 years. So that's, I suppose, a positive thing. I mean, their biggest sort of money spinner for them currently is or at least from what I can tell, is the agreement that they have with Eskom, is basically to sell coal to them. To fire the power stations and so on. So they've got a solid customer that's not going to go anywhere. They did take a write-down of about 5.7 billion last year on one of their projects in the Congo, but that is at least out the way. So they've gone from 883 million rand loss to around a 296 million rand profit. Yep. So that's a good thing. Look, dividends down 60%, but at least they're still paying a dividend. And I think that, you know, the fact that they're selling predominantly to government gives them a very safe business model.
So the margins are just compressed in the export operations and on the iron ore side, but you're right, the Eskom contracts are typically a cost plus type arrangement. Of course, they are the owner of the Grootgeluk deposit, which is going to be the supplier contract for Medupi, so they've got all that goodness coming through. Also under new management, I see. So Sizwe Nkosi was the guy that basically created this entity. He was the Sizwe coal guy that Anglo put into business and then kind of took further forward. He's now retired. And the guy that's taken over from is Mxolisi Mgojo, who's a LIFO from within Exxaro. He was the guy who ran the coal business. He's got a couple of degrees from foreign universities, looks like a good operator, 54 years old. So I don't know, what do we expect from this company going forward?
CEO standards.
Yeah.
I think that it's not going to shoot the lights out, but it's also not going to go out of business. You know,
yeah, because
we need to play a defensive game.
Export markets will remain somewhat depressed price-wise, but there's still a lot of power stations in the Asian area that need those, particularly in India.
And you know, we've got a nuclear power plant coming, but that's going to be years in the making. So we're going to be burning coal for a while.
That's never ever going to happen.
Well, I hope not.
Personal opinion. Never happening. So they're going to eke out the coal power fire stations, coal power fire stations. I almost got that.
Sure.
Coal-fired power stations. So Exxaro is going to have that business for a good long while. So you could expect.
And I think that this is, if we are playing, we need to play a defensive game in this sector.
Yeah, let's look at the share price. Yeah, same really, huh?
Yeah, everything's down. It's not a pretty picture.
Bit of a recovery there in 2016 after somewhat depressed, and that's because generally, like you've been discussing all along, oil's had a little bit of a bounce, iron ore's had a little bit of a bounce, coal's probably had a little bit of a bounce. Yeah, but hot or not?
The defensive nature, if you're a long-term player, probably hot.
Okay, I'm going to go with not hot, but I like that thinking too. Good.